Hey guys, and welcome to my new episode that is a little interlude between the main seasons. So, as you probably remember, in my last episode, I mentioned that we're trying a new experiment. So, yeah, this is going to be rougher, it's going to be less edited. It's basically a chance for me to play around and not have to worry so much about fine tuning everything, especially when I really want to save that energy for season 3. So thank you so much to my editor, Anna, for being game to try out this little experiment with me. Essentially, we're going to be breaking this up into 2 parts. Today, you're going to hear the question that Anna had for me on Things Fandom, and next week, you'll get to hear the answer and the research I dug into. So you'll be getting the next answer soon, don't worry. And in the meantime, I would love it if you guys would send me your own questions so I have something fun to investigate while I'm still collecting tape and organizing interviews for season 3. Okay, I think that's enough from me. Let's go ahead and get into this episode.
Hey Sadie, I have a question.
I'll probably include a more formal intro, but I want to just start with you saying your question again in all its glory.
Okay. I'm wondering if there are any instances of fanfic writers getting discovered by an IP and becoming official canon content creators.
This is going to be such a good first question that is not at all a challenge. Or I hope it won't be a challenge. Watch me eat my own words. Uh, but let's go back. Let's have you introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Anna Funk. What should I say about myself?
You're my
I don't know what to
editor. What
say.
else? What else do you want to say?
Um, Hi, I'm Anna Funk, and I am Sadie's editor on this podcast.
Love it. So you're an editor on a podcast about fandom. But what is your fandom experience? Like what fandoms have you been a part of? What's your level of engagement? Give us some background.
Ooh, interesting question. I would say I'm a self-described nerd, but have not gone as deep into any fandoms as a lot of the people Sadie's talking to and talking about. So I love the podcast because I have many of the same questions. And I do confess I'm only on season 11 of Supernatural, but I will be
I'm
finishing it soon.
more than halfway there. I was gonna say if you just asked me what happens in season 12, I'd be like, oh, I got that one covered. Uh but what other kinds like would you consider yourself like a D&D fan, or is that just a thing that you do but you wouldn't consider yourself a fan?
Well, it's like I'm close enough that I know how deep people can go, which makes me not say that I'm a huge fan. I feel like it's like I know Dunning-Kruger is like debunked or whatever, but I feel like it's a Dunning-Kruger where I'm like, I know enough to know that there's so much more I could be doing to like be quote unquote be a fan. So like I love the idea of cons. I love that people are out there like making fan art of their favorite IPs. That's just never really been me. I do have quite a bit of Legend of Zelda art in my office right now, though, so maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. Yeah, historically, I would say Zelda, Harry Potter, Star Wars would be my main fandoms. If I think of like what's the likelihood that I'm going to buy a Christmas ornament?
Those are the
D
top
and D probably
choices.
D&D probably two.
I think it's interesting that those are like fandoms that you would consider yourself a part of because they all of those have extremely deep lore, both
Right.
canonically and non-canon. And so it makes sense that it's easy to feel like a quote unquote fake fan because you're like, well, I've seen all the Star Wars movies, but I haven't watched all the TV shows, and I sure haven't read all of the
Right.
novels that are actually
Right.
like considered canon. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just because I know how deep it goes. So I know that I'm only on the surface. So it's like I would consider myself a big fan and more of a fan than my normie friends. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like you like liking things, but you don't have to be a completionist.
Yes. Oops, sorry, I just
Gotcha.
kicked my dog in the face. Sorry, dude. What is your face there?
So I also wanted to ask what brought this particular question up for you? Like, what were you thinking about that made you want to know
Oh,
about it?
I don't know. It seems like that would be the dream, but maybe I'm projecting. I think if I was writing fanfic, my dream would be for it to be like real as opposed to I don't think I would be into the like exploring different like ships and stuff. I don't think that would be my scene. My thing would be like creating lore to fill holes or something, and I would like really want it to be real,
You'd
like
want to
canon.
like you'd already be doing all the research to make it canon. You're like, oh, but now
Yes.
the IP gods have deemed me worthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would
I
be so cool.
I feel like I do wonder if it's a dream, like how every graduate student I know dreamed of opening a coffee shop, and you'd have to remind them, like, you'd have to be up at like 5 a.m., right? Or even earlier. Like, no, I just think it'd be great to like work in it and own a coffee shop. I'm like, no, you don't. You just think that idea
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But I will be curious to find the answer to this. So what do you like? Is there any more that you want to tell me about, like what you hope to learn? Like, do you want to hear from somebody who has made that
Hmm.
transition or people that have dreamt of making that transition? Like, I'm pretty sure I can find
I want to
somebody, but
know.
I want
Yeah,
to
I
know
want to know if
more.
it's ever happened. Like, are any franchises like reading fanfic, like looking for new writers? Like I would assume no.
Is it a different case for you if someone was writing fan fiction and then gets discovered and writes, but they write for a different IP? So like they were writing Star Wars, but they get hired to write Star Trek. Does that matter to you? Are you really looking for that direct transition?
I hadn't thought of that. I mean, that would still be interesting if it was a different IP, but more the direct is
You want to know if the direct has ever happened, but you'd be
because
willing to hear
yeah,
other
yeah,
stories.
yeah.
Okay. I like this challenge. I'm excited for this challenge. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to share with our listeners before I go off on my hunt?
I don't think so.
Right?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I'll let you know what I come up with in the next week or two, ideally.
Can't wait to find out what you find.
Yay! See you soon. Remember, you can send your fandom questions to me through Twitter at Sadie Witt or my Instagram at Sadie_Wit or through the form on my website, sadiewitt.com. Yes, I know my last name is Witkowski, but nobody can spell that, so I'm trying to make it easier on all of you. So that's Wit spelled W-I-T. Now for the show's credits. Today's question was brought to us by editor Dr. Anna Funk. Editorial support was provided by, obviously, the very same Dr. Anna Funk. Music was composed and performed by Chris Scott. Cover art was designed by Liz Hand. In Defense of Fandom is a part of the Geekscape podcast network. And if you like the show, giving us a review on Apple Podcasts is a great way to help support this work and help even more listeners discover us. Your support is deeply appreciated. Okay, we'll see you guys in 1 week with the answer.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.